So Jay-Z is going to release an album at Target. No big deal, right? Well, apparently it's a big deal because, Target got rid of DEI initiatives last year in 2025. And black people are saying that, that they boycotted Target. Now, I was aware of the boycott, but I wasn't aware that it was still like active, that people were still. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's individuals, they boycott all different types of stores for different reasons. But I'm getting at that I didn't think that this boycott for Target amongst, African Americans, that it was still largely going. So, Jay-Z announced last week that he's going to release a limited edition vinyl that is going to be exclusively released at Target on June 26th. Now, a lot of artists release exclusive albums at Target. I know that Taylor Swift did that for her last album. I've seen Taylor Swift and Adele albums exclusively at Target, which is great for Target because if it could only be found there, it will make you have to walk all the way to the back of the store where you potentially might buy other products on your way to grab Jay-Z's album. And, just like people had to do when, Adele and Taylor Swift released their albums exclusively at Target. But Black Americans, some of them are very upset with Jay-Z. They are saying that Jay-Z will do anything for money. And they're saying that, Jay-Z, is an opportunist. Now, I will say this, I'm not saying that they're lying. I am not saying that they're lying. However, Jay-Z could do whatever he wants to do. I mean, ultimately, it's your decision what you want to do. So, people wake up. If you are boycotting Target, obviously you're not going to go buy the album. So do we have any Jay-Z fans in here? Anybody who's going to go rush to Target on Friday to scoop this limited edition vinyl? And, on the other hand, I would have to agree with those who say that because of the boycott on Target from Black people, that this is a poor decision. However, regardless of what happens, Jay-Z's a billionaire and it keeps us talking about him. And that is what these people want. And I will say this, I'm going to take it a little bit further. Obviously Beyonce's married to Jay-Z, right? So Beyonce already knew, like okay, think about this. When you ink a deal like this, he didn't just ink the deal last week. He probably talked to Target 6 months ago or a year ago. He already knew he wanted to release a limited edition vinyl for, to celebrate the 30 years of Reasonable Doubt. He didn't just call them last week. So Beyonce knew that he was going to do this. And I would imagine that if you want to, for your marriage to work, you're probably going to be on the same page. It's not like she's probably telling him, no, don't release that, and then he does it anyways. So she knew that he was going to do this. So they're one of the same. So, a lot of Black Americans are very upset with Jay-Z because he's going to release a limited edition vinyl to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Reasonable Doubt album. And, when I was, I'll give you guys a little insight. When I was, young, I actually did have a Jay-Z album. I think I had the Hard Knock Life album. I don't know, that song, everyone knows the Hard Knock Life song, Annie and all that. But, I don't know. I think that with all these boycotts, the Asian boycott, the Target boycott, I even hear people saying that they want to boycott Jay-Z. So what do you guys think about that? Are you guys, big Jay-Z fans? or you're just like, I don't really care either way. Now, I'm not buying any vinyl. I don't have a record player, and I don't want to collect Jay-Z albums. So, I'm cool. I'm not, so I'm not tripping on this. But with the slew of people always saying, how, in social media that they don't have money and all this. I mean, all the people claiming they don't have money, they got to work all these jobs. You guys probably shouldn't be buying limited edition vinyls of any artist. And I mean, how much is this vinyl also? I don't want to like speak, but I believe I may have read that this vinyl was $40. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. Jay-Z is estimated now in 2026 to be worth $2.8 billion. And we know that Beyonce recently became a billionaire like in the last 6 months or so. So they're doing pretty good for themselves. That's 3.8 billion in net worth and climbing. Beyonce's only 44 years old. Jay-Z is 56 years old. And they seem to be pretty savvy and smart with what they do with their money, unlike Floyd Mayweather. So this is not the beginning. This is not the end for them. They will still keep climbing in wealth. So I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Are you guys going to buy Jay-Z's limited edition vinyl at Target? And were you previously boycotting Target, or, were you shopping there? Um, I don't know. I'm not anti Jay-Z, but I'm indifferent. I don't think anything bad or good. So for me, I'm cool. Um, I'm not running to the store to buy no $40 vinyl for anybody. I'm a Mariah Carey fan, and I still wouldn't go buy a vinyl of hers for 40. Right now, I'm not doing stuff like that. So I'm good right now. We got a comment here. The cattle will be told where to spend their money. So do you think that people are going to run to Target to make sure they get a copy of Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album that came out 30 years ago in 1996? Ooh, we got someone who does not like Jay-Z. You say Jay-Z's music isn't good. So wait, you're telling me you didn't like the Hard Knock Life song? You didn't like Jigga What, Jigga Who? What other songs does he have? The one with Alicia Keys, Empire State of Mind. Crazy in Love with Beyonce. You didn't like any of those songs? What else? H to the Izzo, B to the Izzy. You didn't like that song either? I'm not even gonna lie. I did like Jay-Z. That was a great time. When Jay-Z was hot back in the day, I loved that era. I loved Jay-Z. I loved DMX. I loved DMX. So that era of like the late 90s to the early 2000s, let me take you, I'm not a rap expert by any means, but let me take you guys, down a little bit of a memory lane. Thank you for your comments, by the way. I like DMX a lot. Do you know that I met DMX probably like at least 2 times for sure? DMX lived in the state that I live in, and I would see him regularly at the Albertsons grocery store. So like, yeah. But that era of the late 1990s, I liked Jay-Z, DMX, Ludacris, Nelly, 50 Cent, Eminem, Ja Rule, Fat Joe, Big Pun, like all those people who all came out in that era, like the 98 to 2005. Wasn't that a great time for rap music? Or am I just crazy? Lil Wayne and all those people, like it was awesome. Oh, I think I forgot to mention Ludacris, and also Ti. Do you guys remember Chingy? Like I like that era of rap way better than right now. We got another comment here. We'll see Target. We'll see if the sheep buy the album. Well, the album doesn't come out until the 26th, which is Friday. So it's going to probably take about 3 days over the weekend to see for them to make the prediction of how many units it's going to sell. Now, keep in mind, this is a reissue. It's not a brand new album. So don't expect it to do like 400,000 first week, or, we're not even living in that kind of era anymore. But if he moves like a modest 10, 20K or something from an album that came out 20 years ago, I mean, we're going to see. We're going to see. And remember, it's a vinyl. Like, how many people have vinyl players? Vinyl record players. I'm assuming for a lot of people, it's not going to be to really play the album. It's just going to be able to have like what do you call that? Like a souvenir. Like if I bought it, I wouldn't really play it. I would just have it and then be a collector's item. But Jay-Z's not my guy, so it's not something I would buy. Now if it was Mariah Carey's 30-year anniversary of the Vision of Love album or whatever her first album was called, yeah, I would get that if I had money. um but that's just who I'm a fan of. But yes, definitely DMX is much better. DMX and Tupac, of course, of course, of course. So let's see what you guys are saying. It was a good time for rap music, but Jay-Z wasn't the best in that era. Most people were listening to other people. Well, I'll say this. I will say this. In that era, don't you think that, back then albums were selling like a lot? Obviously in 2026, albums don't sell anymore, like, because of streaming. I would say Jay Z was definitely like, I mean, I don't even think I don't even know. I would say there's not really any point to rank these people because back then, all those people that I mentioned were hot. So he may not have been the hottest, but like, he was definitely, they were all in the same league, Jay Z, 50 Cent, Eminem, Ja Rule, Nelly, Ludacris, Lil Wayne. They were all hot. Like they all were selling. Um, I mean, you could say, well, 50 Cent's first album sold however many they sold. So yeah, 50 Cent was the hottest for like his first album. And obviously Eminem sold a lot. Nelly sold a lot. I remember Nelly, when he had that double album where one was country and the other one was hip hop, I had that album. Um, who didn't love Ludacris? Chingy. Like, I used to listen to all that stuff. Ja Rule and Ashanti. Remember when they were hot for like, I mean, how long was Ja Rule and Ashanti hot for? Like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? So like everyone had their era and their time. I'm just saying that period of rap, the late 90s to, I don't know, mid 2000s was great. I don't really like the rappers of today. Like I don't like any of the new people. Like I know a lot of people they love like Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say anything. I don't know. I don't know why. I just never got into those people. I've never gotten into them. Nicki Minaj, I don't know. I don't really care for any of these people. Well, I never said that Jay-Z sold the most albums. I'm just saying that in that class, in that period, in the late 90s, that he's in that, top 10 rapper category. You can rank the people however you want to rank them, but Jay-Z definitely is a top 10 rapper from that era. And, in life and in the industry, it's about longevity, not just who was the. Think about this. Let's say, like R&B. Let's say like R&B. Okay, so who were the top girls in R&B back in the day? In the same time, it was Brandy, right? Brandy, Monica, and then a little bit later, okay, then you could say Maya, right? You could also say a little bit later, then you had Sierra, you had Beyonce and Rihanna, right? So, okay, so and also Ashanti, how can we forget? So think about it like this. Out of all those people I just said, who still is like, still, big time? Obviously Rihanna's had 3 kids, and I think that Rihanna would be even more huge, but she's decided just not to put out music over the last 10 years. But the only one out of them that is still big is Beyonce. Ashanti was huge. Sierra was huge, but they were huge for a small period in time. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. Sierra is still relevant because she's married to Russell Wilson, but she hasn't had like a whole bunch of hits or anything. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. We have a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. But because we have someone here that hates Jay-Z, but so I'm talking about female R&B. So think about it like this: Brandy and Monica were huge in the 90s. If we go off of record sales and who had the popularity and the TV show and the movies, Brandy was the winner. Brandy was that, BITCH. Let's just keep it real. When I was growing up, I loved Brandy. I didn't dislike Monica at all. I liked her, but I don't know. Brandy was everywhere. Like people, we would talk about Moesha like at school. So like Brandy was that girl, like for real. Don't get me wrong. I do like Monica. I like them both. But, back in the day, Brandy was that chick. And, but neither one of them are still like, at the level that they once were. And then, like I mentioned, we had Maya. I mean, she fell off. She says, I've seen plenty of interviews with her. She says that she didn't want to sell her soul. I'll be honest. I don't dislike Maya, but I didn't feel like, how there's some artists, they just got it. They just got that, either they have the look or they got the personality, or how do you want to say this? Some people have that it factor. Maybe I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I never really cared for Maya. I could see why she was like in the background, like where the other ones were more of a star than her. I don't know. Like she's cool. I've seen her, giving interviews. Like I like her, but I would never be like, oh my God, I'm a diehard Maya fan. You know what I mean? Like, but anyways, and then after that, we had Ashanti. Now, I loved Ashanti when she first came out. I still like her now. But you see, my whole point of bringing all these people up is that, of bringing all these people up is just to show that, it's very hard to have a legendary long-standing career that lasts more than 3 or 4 years. And I was only mentioning those singers because, we have someone in here that says that Jay-Z wasn't the hottest when he was in his prime. And you know what? You're probably correct. I'm sure if we pull it up the charts, I'm sure Nelly sold more. I'm sure that 50 Cent and Eminem sold more. Well, you could look at it like this. Is it about who was the hottest for a few years? Or is it over the duration of your life? Because he's richer than all of those people now. So, and he had the longer, lengthier career. Do you want a longer career or do you want to be hot for 5 years? So that's all I will say about it. I'm not standing for Jay-Z. Now, I did see your comments and I didn't mention him, but I will say this, that obviously when I was growing up, R. Kelly and Mariah Carey were my two favorites. They're still my two favorites from the 90s right now. You are 100% correct that R. Kelly is the king of R&B. I'm sorry, it is not Chris Brown. And I do really like Usher, but he's not, but okay, okay. I do really like Usher. I do like Usher, but R. Kelly is the king of R&B. It's undisputed. However, like we've seen with all of these celebs, like Diddy and him, and a lot of these powerful men that have money, when they get their money, they do things that they're not supposed to do, and it's unfortunate that. Oh my goodness, I think I hear some static right now. So we're going to take a quick break, and I am going to try to fix this. Let me know if you guys can hear me clearly or not. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. Hopefully that fixed everything. Oh goodness. Hopefully that fixed everything.
So, y'all gotta know the difference between a hack bag and a Birkin bag. So this is a men's carry-on bag when you're traveling. So a lot of times when people see a male carrying a bag like this, they be like, oh, that's a Birkin. You have to know the difference. Look it up. HAC, it's a hack bag. But I like to call it a hot, but it's really called a hack. You see, this is the size of it. No. This is different. This is a man's carry-on. Now, of course, we have two new Birkins right here. As you can see, custom bags. And y'all know the price of these, as you can see. Trick or treat, Halloween, or
All right, let's see if, let me know if you guys can hear me clearly or not. Hopefully, I was able to fix it this time. All right, sounds good to me. So, we were reminiscing about the 1990s, and someone mentioned R. Kelly. So, of course, we know that R. Kelly outshined everybody in the 90s and the 2000s. And I definitely agree with your statement, Richard. It is unfortunate that, the stuff that he did, that we are not even allowed to listen to him anymore. He can't give any tours. I mean, I don't know. Disappointing for sure. But yeah, definitely I agree with you that R. Kelly is the king of R&B. I don't know. I never liked Chris Brown, honestly, and I do like Usher. That's all I have to say. But R. Kelly is the king of R&B, and it's just a shame that all the things that he did. But I definitely miss the 90s and the early 2000s. I feel like long music along with society, everything is just falling off a cliff. What do you guys think? Like the last decade has been, shit. Do you guys think that? I don't know. I just think everything's gone to shit. Nothing's been very good since COVID. Since like 2020, have things been good? So, this is the Money Show. We're talking about money. Jay-Z teams up with Target to release a limited edition vinyl to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Reasonable Doubt album. Jay-Z is reportedly worth 2.8 billion, married to Beyonce, who just became a billionaire in the last few months herself. And, he is facing a lot of backlash because people are saying, Black people are boycotting Target over the removal of DEI initiatives last year. So, I think that, I'm not running to Target to buy no vinyl, and we're going to see what people do. I'm not going to make any predictions because I could be wrong. I don't know. I would like to think that people are not going to go run to buy this because, reportedly, I think it's supposed to sell for $40. So I just think right now with the state of the economy, why would you go out and go buy some vinyl for $40 of anybody right now?